What's up, guys, and welcome back to Reality Unplugged, the show where we tell you what you already know about people you've already heard about in ways that you already agree with, so you don't have to risk getting upset. Unless you happen to not agree with me, or you haven't heard what I'm getting ready to talk about. And in that case, I do my very best every show to make sure I stir somebody up some kind of way. Here's why. Because a complacent country and a complacent people don't get anything done. And a complacent country that is not constantly trying to climb uphill and get higher and get to a better stance is starting to slide down because, and here's why. Just like when you're trying to push a boulder up a mountain and gravity is working against you, anytime you stop rolling up, even when you're at rest standing still, the forces that are working against you are doing everything they can to push you back down, to push that boulder, that rock back down. This is where we are in America. This is where we are as humans. This is where we are as individuals. Because whether you're Christian, atheist, or anything else, if you're a Christian, obviously we believe that there are powers working against us to try to prevent us from pleasing the Lord Jesus Christ. If you're an atheist or you're just a normal human being, you also know that there are people out there that want you to stay on the bottom so that they can stay above you and make money off of you. So if you're not pushing forward and moving up, you are being pushed backwards. And that takes a push, that takes a nudge, that takes a never again moment.
Where have I heard that before?
Shake it off, we'll come back to it later. Obviously, the biggest news today is the impeachment trial of Donald Trump. Surprise, surprise. Now here's the deal with these impeachments. First off, the impeachment doesn't necessarily mean anything, except that a bunch of people got together who were unhappy with what the president was, or what someone was doing, and they want to have an impeachment. The impeachment is simply the trial. The impeachment, just because someone has been impeached, doesn't mean that they are guilty or they have done anything worthy of being impeached. All it means is they have been subpoenaed and have to go to trial and defend themselves. Donald Trump has now done this twice, and there has been insufficient evidence presented to go through with the articles of impeachment, which would be what would punish him if he had been found guilty. 2 times they have tried to impeach this president and try to bring him up on charges that were not able to be proven. This time, they still couldn't do it, even with supposed Republican senators backing the articles of impeachment. They could not get the supermajority to impeach the president and prevent him from running again or holding an office. So, we believe in our system. We've been told this entire time, don't believe in voter fraud. Don't believe that the election was rigged because our system works. Well, they only say that because they were able to manipulate the system to get their candidate in. Now that they have gone through the system twice with Donald Trump and they have not achieved the results they want, the system is rigged by white people. This is getting more and more ridiculous every day. They will not call Donald Trump innocent. They say he is acquitted because there's insufficient evidence to convict him. There's a big difference. See, due process used to state that you were innocent until proven guilty. Now, you're just not proven guilty. You haven't been charged. You haven't been sentenced because we could not bring enough evidence to convict you, but you're still guilty. So you're free but guilty. There's no such thing as innocent unless you're an Antifa or BLM mob rioter, and then no matter what you do, you're innocent. It's a paradox. I'm happy he was acquitted. I'm happy he'll be able to run again. I had my eye on some other candidates that might be able to go through if he couldn't. And I gotta state here on this channel, I'm not a Trumper so far as I believe in him above anything else. I believe in this country, I believe in doing things right, and he is the person for the past 4 years who has pushed what was right. But if somebody else comes along who's a better candidate, I respect President Trump for what he did, but I will stand with whoever will best serve America. That being said, let's move on.
Never again.
Man, where have I heard that before? Oh, right. Dave Ramsey, Financial Peace University spokesperson, talk show host for the past 30 years, fighting to keep people from going into debt and teaching them how to get out of debt once they've gotten into it, has now been canceled. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the man that wants you to know yourself and know your money and to live like no one else, so later on you can live like no one else, so you can retire with dignity, so you never again have to feel the hopelessness of being in a financial dire strait, is the latest victim of this world's cancel culture. Early yesterday morning, Dave Ramsey was on Fox News and he was being asked about the stimulus checks that are being discussed in the Senate and Congress right now. Now, as you know, here a while back, everybody received stimulus checks for the COVID-19 pandemic, where a lot of people had been put out of work and how they have had trouble making ends meet. The stimulus checks that were sent out were barely enough to make a week or a month go by. They were barely enough to get the biters off the back of the people who were owing money. So on this discussion and on this topic, Dave Ramsey was asked, how much do you think the amount of the stimulus check should be, responsibly and within the means of the American financial institutions? Well, the people asking this question, whether they do or do not regularly listen to Dave Ramsey, I personally do, obviously either did not know what he teaches, or they knew and they deliberately wanted to put him on the spot. Because here's the clip of Dave Ramsey's statements that caused him to be canceled.
If you believe $600 is going to change your life, you're stupid. You should be ashamed.
The federal government really should not be doing any of this stuff.
Let's go back to work. If we're not doing that, then we're going to be right back here every single month with the same problem. Please, sir, can I have some more?
To Twitter, it's the number one thing on Twitter right now. So I said on Fox News this morning that I don't believe in a stimulus check, because if you get $600 or $1,400 and it changes your life, you didn't have a life. You're already screwed.
Yeah.
And apparently that's news to people. It's like apparently I have upset and melted many snowflakes. I don't believe in a stimulus check, because if $600 or $1,400 changes your life, you were pretty much screwed already. You got other issues going on. You have a career problem, you have a debt problem, you have a relationship problem, you have a mental health problem. Something else is going on if $600 changes your life. And that's not talking down to folks. I've been bankrupt. I've been broke, and I work with people every day who are hurting. I love people. I want people to be lifted up. But this is, again, it is just political rhetoric, and it's just throwing dollars out there. It's peeing on a forest fire. It's absolutely ridiculous.
And I imagine that does not work. As I visualize it.
He's talking about, hey, if you need that right now to eat, to live, you got deeper problems. The check is not going to solve it. It might give you a brief relief, maybe, but you're going to be right back next month with the same problem.
The problem is, and the fact that this is trending number one on Twitter is hilarious, but it's sad, because what it indicates is not that Dave Ramsey's out of touch, or not that I'm right or wrong. That's not the point. The point is that I dared to suggest that the government is not going to fix your life.
That's what I'm getting at. It's bigger than the dollar amount.
I dared to suggest that they can't fix your life.
Yeah.
That it's up to you to fix your life. And you're not going to have a good life as long as you wait on them to fix it.
Right.
I dared to suggest that, and so snowflakes are melting everywhere. They are going bananas.
Get out of your feelings and look at things for what they are. Look at the reality for what it is. All right? The stimmy checks aren't going to solve the problem.
Now, the other people commenting right there in that video are obviously conservative spokesman Ben Shapiro, and I think it was ABL. I have to look back at it, and I'll give the link to both their pages, the link to the video that I just showed you, and the link to Dave Ramsey's homepage, Financial Peace University, all in the description down below. What he is talking about here is nothing new. This is not something that he has come up with overnight. This is something that has been talked about every single day on his show ever since it has started. And he's sitting here talking to these people, and they're acting completely shocked because he has told them that he does not believe in a stimulus package, because if $600 or even $1,400 in a one-time payment changes your life, then your life was terrible already.
But people are out of work and they can't find jobs and they can't pay their bills.
Let me tell you a secret that the media doesn't want you to know. Companies did not stop hiring. Now, not all companies kept hiring, and a lot of companies shut down, especially in places like New York and the rest of those places that went under extreme lockdown. But when it came time for the pandemic to create quarantines to keep people out of work or to keep people in their homes, jobs exploded in the service industry, as far as grocery stores, as far as delivery services, as far as all kinds of places that were deemed essential that needed to keep going to keep this country running. I was never out of a job, not because of some gift or it was by the grace of God. We were deemed essential and I chose to keep working. I could have gotten the benefits, I could have gotten all the things to stay at home. Oh, by the way, we're still alive by the grace of God because we keep working and we keep going. You can't just stop. And $600, even if you multiply that by the people in your family, let's say you get $2,000. Let's go higher. Let's say $2,500. How long is $2,500 really going to pay your bills and feed your family? Dave Ramsey said that if you needed that and it changed your life, your life was bad already. Here's why. Because according to the teachings of Dave Ramsey, and someone tweeted one of the retweets on Twitter where it talked about how Dave Ramsey said that in his teachings, you should have $1,000 emergency fund, but he's against a $1,400 stimulus check? Here's the deal. First off, that $1,000 emergency fund is only supposed to be a baby starter emergency fund to get you through your baby steps, so you have a buffer between you and emergencies. By the time you're done with Dave Ramsey's baby steps, you are to have 3 to 6 months worth of an emergency fund of all of your monthly expenses. That way, if tragedy hits, if you get smacked by a train or hit by a car and you can't work for 6 months, you have enough money to carry you through. If a pandemic sweeps through the nation and you're stuck at home, you won't be at the mercy of legislators who are living off of your money already to get you through. $600 is not going to save you. And that's all he was saying. He was saying, I teach people to be better prepared than this. I teach people to handle their money better than this. But the snowflakes around the world that are running the country now melted. You don't understand, Dave. You don't understand, Dave. My company shut down. I can't find a job in the field that I was working in. And I make more money off the benefits than I would if I went to one of those other jobs. Imagine if we never stopped giving a baby a bottle because it was still hungry. And just because it whacked the veggies away and it whacked the meat away and said, I don't like it, that you just kept feeding it bottles. That baby would starve to death and die. Yeah, you got whacked, you got knocked down during the pandemic. I don't believe they should have sent stimulus checks out in the first place. We got ours, it's fine, we pay taxes. But if you come to depend off suckling at that, you'll wither and die, and you'll become nothing. Your life will waste away. I remember being in debt. We made bad financial decisions. We weren't always on top. I grew up in a single wide trailer with 3 families living in it. And when I got married, I was not good with money. And I was making little to nothing, almost below the poverty line. But we were sitting there in debt. And I remember when I got saved and I wanted to be able to be free, and I didn't want to be locked down to where I had to serve somebody else and I had to be a slave to debt and I couldn't help the people of God. I remember getting in my kitchen on my knees and begging God to deliver me from the debt that was wrapped around my neck so that I could be a blessing to other people and I could help and I could do things. And through Dave Ramsey and God's help, we came out of that debt. We came out of that hole. And God has prospered us and put us in a place to help other people. And if you're going to start getting rid of, here's the thing. You've already been getting rid of the people that just upset you because of their views. But if you start getting rid of the people who are trying to help you with their views, there's not going to be anybody to help you when you finally reach out for it. Thanks for listening to Reality Unplugged. Please like and subscribe to this channel. If you want to, leave me a comment down below. Let's start a conversation. And do me a favor, log on to Financial Peace. I'm going to put the link down below. If you have any debt or if you're just looking for a way to retire with dignity, Dave Ramsey covers how to get out of debt, how to build wealth, and how to give and live like nobody else. Look over there and see what he's got. It's changed our lives. It's changed thousands of people's lives and created many, many millionaires, everyday millionaires through hard work and making good decisions. Remember, everybody, let's pray together. Let's stay together. Find you a good church. Get a hold of Jesus. If you want to, come visit us down here in Arcadia, Florida. We live out in Ona right next to it. That's where we do all of our business. Check us out. This is the way.